So we're here with Jeff and Adam and Sarah, Ade and Shairani on the audio technical. I don't know what you can call it.
Producer Ronnie.
So last night we had a really fun event. AIGA Houston came, which is a creative design group in Houston. A lot of young people who wanted to are doing studio tours of all the studios in Houston. They came. They asked us a lot of questions. I think it was fun.
Yeah, it was cool.
Sarah,
yeah.
You did really well.
Thanks. So did you.
What about Jeff?
Jeff too.
You did well.
Thanks. Thanks, man.
You're welcome. But it got us thinking. Jeff needs to get closer, I think, or he can lean back, but he's got to move his mic. It got us thinking with all those young people asking us about all of our expertise and all the things that we've learned and know. A topic that Jeff and I have always talked about, even when we were in our 20s, was the old creative, the aging creative. Has been a topic of humor and discussion amongst us because the fear. There's an old Chris Rock stand-up act where he, like his first one, I think, and he talks about the old guy at the club and how you never want to be the old guy at the club. And they basically says he's not that old; he's just a little too old to be at the club. And I think that's what I think about when I think about the creative world, which can be very ageist, I guess, because creatives, as you know, kind of when we say creatives, we mean in the advertising, branding, design world. It's you're supposed to be cool, you're supposed to be relevant, and then that tends to think to imply that you need to be young. And so, what do we think about how we handle that? Because if you fall in love with graphic design or copywriting or photography, and you're going to get older, do you need to shift gears? Do you need to change gears? Do you need to become more of a manager? Or, how does that work? And is that fair? Is that right? Or is that just the way it is? So that's my tee up to the team to see what their thoughts are.
I think for me personally,
Jeff picked up his phone. I just want everyone to know that as soon as I said that, Jeff literally picked up his phone and started typing. So we're going to kick it to Sarah. And he's just nodding. What a dick.
He's Googling how to be creative.
I'm fact checking something.
Oh, are you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
he's Googling old ass creatives.
Fact checks are important before
they
talk.
I personally have found myself wanting to go more towards managing and like finding people who are really good at design and up and better than me and like up on the trends. But I think as far as a designer goes, like you just have to keep up with what's in and stay fresh. And I don't know. That's a terrible answer.
No, it's not. I was actually going to ask you how old you are.
I'm 31.
Yeah. So you're 31.
Yeah.
So we're basically like
I
professional
don't feel
athletes.
old. Like I don't feel like when I design stuff, I'm like, this looks
No,
old.
I mean,
because I can keep up with things. But what makes me feel old is like the like I don't have that willingness to stay up late and learn how to do something like Sharon or Rachel or Lisa have, like with animation and all these new things. And I feel old in the sense too, where all the AI is like kind of freaking me out, but like instead of I haven't embraced it yet. That's the thing. I need to like figure out how to use it to my advantage.
And you're kind of an old soul. Like I think,
I am.
even when you were 20, whatever, when you started, 24, 23, 22. How old were you?
What do you mean?
How old were
was
you
I?
when you started at 5+8? 24?
22, 23.
Yeah. But you were always kind of older in your mindset, mature.
Yeah. I think it's a girl thing too.
I think it's a Sarah thing.
Well, okay.
Jeffrey? How'd the facts come in?
I don't know. I've got like a different perspective a little bit. I think for design, yes. I think for ideas, not necessarily.
Okay.
And
I like that.
And my argument is that a good idea. So old creatives versus old creative, right? Let's look at some old creative.
Okay.
The David Ogilvy Think Small ad
Yeah.
is still iconic.
Yeah.
And that was produced in the early 60s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and that was an idea. It's just an idea that you can, like, if you have the right mindset and the right creative mind, you could be 60 years old and still produce really good advertising. I think.
Oh yeah. for
Really
sure.
good writing.
That's
not. I think it's a little bit different than the design world. You know.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think designers can get dated in their style.
They can.
If they don't adapt and they don't grow.
I think I definitely agree with that. But like on the other side of the creative world, I think that this kind of like the conceptual stuff, the idea stuff, I think you can be successful with that into your like later years as a creative if you practice it. Don't get lazy. You know.
Yeah. That's a great point. I mean, yeah, maybe it is like a muscle. Like, you know, you have to stay in shape and you have to stay.
Yeah.
And I think part of it, I mean, I think Jeff and I's personalities tend to lean a little bit more, you know, youthful, and we relate to younger people. We like younger people. I think that's who we always are. And so I think that helps us in terms of like leading young people, I hope. What are you smiling about?
I'm thinking of you walking in like Steve Buscemi going, "Hey, fellow students."
I think it's important to make fun of yourself or have fun. I wouldn't say make fun of yourself, but we have to have fun with yourself to ensure that nobody, not before they do, because, and I'm not saying that, but I think that if you aren't careful, the phrase I say a lot around the office is like, I never want to be the emperor with no clothes, right? You don't want to be the guy walking around like with like a sideways baseball cap.
No,
not that anyone wears that, but
like even to like take it to like a different career that's still creative. Jerry Seinfeld is still funny.
yeah.
So it's like a muscle. If you practice it, you can still do it. You probably don't want to get like fashion advice from him, or anything.
Never,
you know.
He was a bad dresser,
Right.
in his late 20s.
I think Jerry Seinfeld's style is like back in.
It probably came back around.
Whatever
Yeah,
it's called, like normcore.
Yeah, like
That's
just like
basically him.
like light jeans,
Yeah.
big white tennis shoes.
Yeah.
That style that's in right now. I want to say the style that's in right now of these big, like these bulky
New Balance shoes. Like
the bulky light kind of not acid wash but almost stone wash jeans, and then big tennis shoes, and then I don't know what shirt you can wear with that outfit. And I've tried.
Is this for men?
what are you talking about? That like thick denim, like
It's like what.
What for females or for males?
But do men not wear it? Is it just for females? Maybe that's why I can't pull it off. It's both, right?
Ade, check in
I
on
don't know.
this.
I need to see some visuals of this guy.
Wait,
style.
what do you mean? This is the style.
I'm tagging Ade in.
I mean, Tyler has some light denim,
Light
baggy-ish.
denim. They're baggy-ish,
Yeah.
and they usually wear pretty substantially sized footwear with them,
Like Bugle Boys.
basically.
know
And then
what
the
that is.
only shirt you can wear with it that looks reasonable is a white T-shirt. It's like the only thing that looks
true.
reasonable. Like Lisa and Rachel wear this.
Yeah.
And,
I feel too old for that. Cargo pants are back in with the belts with the holes.
But like it doesn't look good. Like you look like now I'm sounding old, but like
That's what you wore 25 years ago.
it didn't look good then. It doesn't look good
But
now.
they
Like,
think don't you remember your parents being like, that looks stupid on you?
they're like these giant T-shirts.
Yeah, you thought it looks cool. I mean, now you're your parents.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. I'm being
I don't, Tyler.
not that baggy, but basically like
I would love to see you come into work dressed like that one day.
I
can't pull it off, man.
no,
Jeff would lose his mind.
I bought some Levi's that are a little bit looser fitting. You've seen me wear them. I had to wear them with Birkenstocks because I don't know how else to wear them because I feel like ridiculous.
Like you're from 1990.
Yeah, but I don't know, man.
Do you wear them with a white shirt and a cardigan?
Yeah, white T-shirt's about all you can
Yeah.
make work with that.
Okay, so that's like trends versus being really good at something.
It's a great point.
There's not a whole lot of people that are like Jerry Seinfeld that can just remain funny forever.
Yeah.
Right.
It's
So
just
like
a style.
right. So is it designers that are like style designers get worn out real
Yeah.
fast because they just do one thing and
I like
and,
that.
and,
I don't
and they
wanna
try
throw-
and then they stop keeping up with the trends and now they're
They're just like the same trend. I don't want to throw any like designers off under the bus, but you think of like Mr. Doodle. Do you know who he is? He got really famous. You're gonna have to like fact check me, but like I'm gonna sound ignorant in the design world. But he like draws doodles on everything, and it's like that. It's kind of like Keith Haring style, but it's like he fills spaces. Like I think, but like that's all he really does. That's a bad example because that's probably timeless. But like at a certain point, it's not going to be as cool, right? But that's like what he does.
Yeah, that's interesting. Or like that Elliot's a fun guy that we all follow.
Yeah, right now.
Or Elliot's a cool guy. Like he's got a cool style, but that's his style.
Yeah.
And it may be timeless, it may not be.
Yeah.
But to be fair, I think we follow him less about his design and more for his copywriting and more for his like funny ideas.
Yeah.
Because he's funny and he's self-deprecating.
Yeah.
And he makes fun of graphic design and so to Jeff's point, and I guess Sarah's point, or all of our points maybe now at this point. That's too many points. I don't.
So maybe it's harder to be a relevant graphic designer into like your later career than it is to be like just like a really good writer or a really good concept person.
I think so.
Maybe
because the tools change.
The tools change too, because like you know what you know, and then at a certain point you just stop.
I don't want to learn a new thing.
Learning it.
Yeah.
You know?
You don't want to learn a new thing and you're 31.
Yeah. I'm being lazy.
Well, I mean, that's why anybody.
Yeah, that's why I stopped too. I was like, I don't know what this software is. I don't want to learn this, you know?
Yeah. So it's not really about, okay, now let me shift a little bit to the perception, and that I feel like I see a lot on LinkedIn that older creatives or people that are in our industry, maybe that Jeff and I have worked with before, looking for jobs, and my thought is there's a perception these people are in their maybe late 40s or 50s, maybe even 60s in some instances. I mean, our agencies, does an agency want to hire a 55-year-old who's got historically has really great ideas and is talented, is going to cost over $100,000 a year, or do they want to hire a 24-year-old who's got some funky, cool photography and some maybe good ideas for $45,000? And my fear, or not fear, but the reality I think is that they're almost always going to lean towards the younger person.
Yeah.
Potentially, unless
I think of it as a money thing, though. I mean,
yeah, exactly.
Sometimes when like older designers apply, you automatically assume that they're overqualified or they're just gonna not be chill with the amount you're willing to pay.
Yeah, and I think that's not even always the case, though. I think a lot of times those people may be at a different point in their career. Maybe they don't. Maybe money is not like maybe they've made money somewhere else. Maybe they've inherited money. Who the heck knows? Maybe they sold their business and they just enjoy it. They enjoy being part of it, but they can't kind of get that chance. I don't know.
Yeah, that's a tough one. I mean, I think that they're, maybe let's like change it a little bit to like a guy that's 55 years old. He's got like a kick-ass book. It's like worked everywhere. Yeah. Like he's got experience working with Coca-Cola and all this stuff, like big time stuff. And then there's a 35-year-old guy that's got some really good experience too, and he's young and cool, and his books are really good too. Maybe the advantage the older guy has is client experience. Yeah. Account service type stuff. Maybe the client that they're hiring this person for is older. So, I mean, maybe there's some advantages, maybe there's some disadvantages. I mean, honestly, the 35-year-old guy versus him probably going to get paid the same.
Yeah, I mean, the job pays what it pays.
Right.
I mean, I just thought about this, though. I just thought about Luis, right? Who I worked with on Samsung. And he was great.
Yes, he was.
And he was a workhorse, and he had good ideas.
He taught.
And he
taught me things.
He taught you things.
Yeah, he would explain things
right before he came to work with us. And he was already in his 50s.
Yeah, and I don't think we trust. I mean, okay, so here's a feather in the cap of the older creative is that when we got this massive project from this national account, I'm not hiring a 35-year-old with a killer book to help us out. We wanted somebody that could pitch their idea.
They could walk into the room and
own it.
Yeah.
and fight for ideas in a professional way, which is a dance and it's not easy.
Right.
You know, with a client the size of Samsung. So I think that's a positive.
So I think that, like, as you get older, if you can progress that way, I think that's where the value is.
It's kind of how you position yourself.
Right.
But like I got, I think we're hiring something, or we posted something, and we've been getting a lot of resumes and portfolios, and I clicked on one, and I mean the second I clicked on it, like I got sad because the work was old. I think I said it to you. I think I don't.
No, you told me about it.
Okay, I think I just like was like, hey, dude, this is, it looked like he like had scanned it in from like magazine ads, and I was like, dude, you're not doing yourself any favors here, man. I mean,
was it a collage?
I mean, it wasn't good.
I don't know what you're talking about. I want to see this now because we didn't. It wasn't for a design.
Well, people will apply for design jobs randomly anyway.
Yeah, that's true.
And so yeah, I don't know. It just was kind of sad. But that's just being out of touch. You can't do that. Like,
yeah.
I mean, I'm 42. I'm not gonna scan in some old newspaper ads.
No, I'm not gonna try to. I'm not really gonna try to out design anybody.
No, I'm not even gonna try.
Yeah, but maybe you can out idea somebody.
Well, someone asked me last night. She was like, "Hey, do you feel sad? Are you sad that you don't really design anymore?" And I was like, instantly, like, no, not at all. And she's like, really? It doesn't. You don't miss it or whatever. And I wanted to give her a really honest answer, and I was like, I do not at all. And I loved it so much. I mean, I was obsessed with it. I always talk about how I quit playing video games because I got into Photoshop and Illustrator because that became my obsession, and I was so into it. But she was like I could see she was kind of sad when I was telling her this, and she's like, well, I'm 30. I'm in my late 30s. I'm just now getting into it. And I was like, great. Then you're probably stoked about it, and you're probably really into it, and you're probably researching stuff and keeping up on trends and doing like that's awesome because that's all it really takes. It doesn't have anything to do with age. It has to do with like how invested you are in the craft, and I'm much more invested in, building the team and our processes and reaching out to the right clients. Like that's what I'm into now.
Yeah, I mean, I used to stay up all night just doing stuff.
I used to do freelance projects all the time for fun. It wasn't even like a money thing. It was like because it was like my hobby.
Yeah,
it's like your hobby.
It wasn't just work. It was like it was cool and fun, and like was a good way to spend your time.
Yeah.
So the takeaway is, if your ideas are timeless, good idea, good concept, good conceptual creative is timeless.
Right.
Like David,
it always works.
It always works. I mean, you watch the first episode of Mad Men and the pitch he does for the cigarettes. I think it's the first episode, and he identifies that he's asking him how they make the cigarettes, Lucky Strike, and the guy's telling him, oh, well, we do this, and then we what the heck was that?
It was David.
David balancing plates. Anyway, he's like, well, they toast the tobacco, and he's like, oh, so your tobacco is toasted, and the guy's like, well, all tobacco is toasted, and he's like, yeah, but no one says that,
right?
And so now yours is toasted.
And it's the only one, as far as anyone knows.
And that idea would work now.
Exactly.
That idea would work today. So that's a timeless idea. And then when it comes to creative and design, it's really about how much you want to stay
relevant.
Yeah, and sometimes even Sarah at 31, who's our creative director, she's already getting design or trend fatigue, I would say.
Yeah, that's accurate. I've been like really into it since I was like 16. So
you made a good point about like a guy like Luis. Like if you take it into like another industry, who do you want? Do you want like the 25-year-old lawyer, or do you want the 60-year-old guy that's still sharp and knows his way around the room?
Oh yeah,
he can go toe to toe with people.
Yeah,
that value exists in like the creative world too, in like that scenario where you want the guy that can talk to Samsung in their boardroom and convince them to do stuff.
And they're not going to say anything stupid,
right?
They're not going to just like blurt out something. Although to your point, we were just talking about an old creative that you worked with a long time ago, who, when the word lubricant came up in conversation, he was like,
"Did you say lube?"
And he was what, 50?
Like 50.
Yeah. So It really has to do with maturity.
It does.
Because if anybody in this office did that in a meeting, I would absolutely lose my mind. If someone was like, oh.
I mean, at this point now, that was probably 20 years ago for me. And I still remember it. Yeah, I it's like burned in my mind. I know where everybody was sitting and everything. I was like, "Are you serious, dude?"
Nice.
Yeah.
She was like, "Yeah, we do like solvents and gasoline. We carry this, that." And she goes, "And we carry like different lubricants." And he goes, "Did you say lube?" I was like, "Oh man."
Save that. Cut that up. Let's use that. What we got for time, Ade?
We are at 24 minutes.
I love it, man. Want to play
That's
him
good.
out?
What's that?
You want to play him out?
What's that mean?
You play the outro music.
Oh, yeah.
Thanks everybody for joining us. We'll be back.
Thank you, producer Ronnie.
Thanks, Ronnie. Ade on the sticks. That doesn't make any sense.
I'm so uncomfortable with the camera at my face.
Shy Ronnie. Another Shy Ronnie production.
Chiron's leaving.
Damn, son.
What is happening?
Damn, son. Shy Ronnie did it again.
What's happening? Is that an inside joke we don't know about?
Just made it up.
Nice. Even better.